Aloha everyone, I'm Wong. I'm the director of the Hawaii Science and Technology Museum. We're a local STEM education nonprofit based here in Hilo. And I'd like to thank Gail Takaki and the rest of the Next Tech team for inviting us to be a part of this. We really appreciate it. So the reason I'm here, I was asked to speak a little bit about my job on the county's Training and Education Task Force for COVID-19. So until recently, I was also a firefighter for the Hawaii Fire Department. And as part of my duties over much of 2020, I was part of the county's COVID-19 task force. And so what our job was on that task force is basically going out and helping all the different businesses and organizations put all the different interventions that needed to be in place. So for example, when you go to a store and you see all the stickers on the floor, or all the signs that you see, a lot of them with the county sticker, that was us working since basically April to help everyone put their interventions in place. So that was a big part of my job for the past year. So just to give you a little bit of history, I guess. So we started in April is when we went out into the community and started doing this work. As you all know, the pandemic was kind of going around the world from before that, but it started really affecting us here around that time. So fortunately, we have a lot of things going for us here living on the Big Island. And the number one being the fact that we're really isolated from the rest of the world. So that, of course, has helped us a lot. The other thing, too, that I feel as a member of the task force that really has helped our community get through this is the fact that there is, definitely the aloha spirit here. A lot of us, we have no problem doing things to protect our neighbors. Of course, none of us want to wear a mask. I don't like wearing that thing either, and it's very uncomfortable. But for many of the people here in Hawaii, we understand that, if I'm wearing a mask, I'm doing it not only to protect myself and my family, but also you and your family. And so a lot of people here have that same attitude, that same mentality where you're willing to make sacrifices to help your fellow citizens. And so that has helped a lot. We haven't gotten a huge amount of pushback on those type of things, and all the other interventions too, having to sanitize your hands, having to keep your 6 foot distancing. Probably the hardest one here for our community is staying apart from friends and family. It's so important. It's such a huge part of our culture, spending time with our friends and family, getting together, sharing meals, hugging and kissing each other. That has probably, from what I've seen, has been the most difficult thing for people to get through. So for us on the task force, we had a lot of help from the community. People were willing to do their part. Business owners were willing to do their part. Churches were willing to do their part. Schools, everyone. So it's been a community effort, definitely. And so early on, we didn't know a lot about the virus. It's a brand new virus, novel coronavirus. It is a coronavirus, so it's not like some super bug. So you can kill it the same way as you would kill any other virus. Of course, number one, washing your hands really good with hot soap and water. Sing happy birthday or whatever you want to sing along to that. But so it's not out of the ordinary in that sense as far as the ways that you would protect yourself from it. But of course, there's a lot we still don't know about it as far as long-term effects. And then, of course, you have this disproportionate way that it affects certain people, where other people can have the virus and have no effects from it at all. So for us, we were doing a lot of things on the task force besides helping people with interventions. We needed to stay on top of, the developments. And as the scientists were learning more about the virus, we needed to make sure that we were up to date so that we could give good information and develop our interventions to match what was being found out. So more and more, it's looking like the virus definitely is, the respiratory route is the most effective way for it to be transmitted. So that's why masks are so important, and the social distancing aspect too. It does seem to be more than just droplet. It does seem to be airborne. So, you could talk or cough or sneeze and the smaller droplets will linger in the air for a while, and potentially somebody could come into that space and contract the virus. So another thing that maybe recently within the past 3 months, what we were really getting into a lot was helping organizations and schools especially. I've been working with a lot with the schools as they prepare to ramp up the students coming back, is helping them with their ventilation plan. So making sure that you have good airflow in all your classrooms, in all the enclosed spaces, anywhere that you're going to have students, or if your business where your customers are going to be congregating, we want to try and have a good ventilation plan, because I think that's really what is key at this point. And also as we go into the future as well, because as all of you I'm sure have heard over the news, there is a new strain kind of circulating around the world, and it seems to be significantly more transmissible than what we've been dealing up to this point. As far as I know, it's not here in Hawaii yet, so that's why it's good for us to definitely work on our ventilation plans before that happens. So again, so we can protect our community. So one of the things we've been promoting a lot within the community are these carbon dioxide monitors. And so the way we use these is kind of like a stand-in for COVID in the air, basically. So what it is, as you all know, when people exhale, you produce carbon dioxide. And so by taking a carbon dioxide reading, you can see how much of people's exhaled air is lingering in a particular space by taking that reading. Where we first came across that is there was a gym in the mainland that had a HVAC engineer help them with their interventions, and that was one of the things that they addressed, was having a good ventilation plan and monitoring the carbon dioxide, because in particular in a gym, you're gonna have people working out and breathing out a lot, breathing out heavily. So, and what happened in their case is that one of their trainers ended up testing positive for COVID, but because of all the interventions they had in place, no one else got sick. And that particular trainer had been in contact with about 50 of their members, in fairly close contact too. But again, because they had been monitoring their air quality and making sure that they had good ventilation, they feel that that's why no one got sick, no one else tested positive after that. So definitely, they're not super expensive, run about $100 per unit, something that you definitely want to consider if you're part of a larger business, or if you're a teacher at a school. We have been distributing quite a few of these to the schools in anticipation of more students coming back. So if you do want one, please ask Ms. Takaki or Mr. Morin, and we can definitely hook you up. But I just wanted to say too, again, like I was saying in the beginning, we really appreciate the work with Next Tech and for inviting us here. But throughout the pandemic too, we've worked with Next Tech and a bunch of other STEM organizations, STEM industry organizations. And it's been great teamwork. We've been able to do a lot of good for the community through several different programs, several different research and development projects. And it was really that, working together that has made it successful. I think, that's part of community resilience, is having good partnerships in place, having people work together and towards the same goals, and trying to do the best that they can for the community. Another thing I think that this pandemic has really brought to the forefront is the importance of doing basic research. A lot of times that doesn't get funded as well as it should by all levels of government. But if you think about it, all these different things that come together, the reason that we know so much about this particular coronavirus is because we had scientists researching these types of viruses. We had scientists working on vaccines that are similar to the one that's being produced now. We've had HVAC engineers doing their work and stuff like that. So it's interesting how you can see all these different fields will come together, and what you normally would not have thought would combine into a good team, into a good body of knowledge. Study hard. I know many of you in this crowd are interested in STEM, so you can do amazing things in STEM, and you can make a big difference in the world. So go for it. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Enjoy your time with FishTank. And again, thank you very much for having us. And when the pandemic is over, please come visit us at our Canyon K. Bills Community Robotics Center. That is on the top floor of Mokopapapa Discovery Center. And we'll be open as soon as the pandemic is over. So please come visit us. Again, mahalo, thank you, and take care.